Good afternoon and welcome to Elevate Your Business Chat with Kent Dame of Nine Business Group. We have the pleasure of spending some time with Ken Dahl today. Ken, please introduce yourself, your company, and what makes you unique.
Well, thanks, Kent. I appreciate the opportunity. Happy to speak with you today. My company is Wealth Architects Incorporated. I am a financial planner, and there's a lot of us out there that are financial planners or use that title. But what I do is actually just financial planning. I do not sell any insurance products or investment products. I put a plan together. It's a roadmap for your future. I try and lay out the rest of your life from a financial standpoint, help you make big decisions like when can you retire, what that retirement's going to look like, how best to set it up, what's the best way to draw on your assets once you are retired, and things like that. So I'm what they call a fee-only financial planner as opposed to a fee for service. So I only get paid for putting a plan together or providing advice and answering questions. I do not receive any commissions or any outside sources of income. So the reason for that is because I want to be independent and objective and unbiased. When I do a financial plan for clients, I want them to know that the information I'm giving them and my suggestions and recommendations are based on what is best for them, not because I'm receiving some commission or something like that for my recommendations. So the only money that I actually receive is what a client will actually pay me to put their plan together. So that's how I'm different. There's 120,000 people in Canada that call them some form of financial planner, financial advisor. There's probably about 100 of us that do the fee only that I just described. So we are very small portion of us, but just the marketplace has been looking for somewhere where they can go and know and trust that they're going to get the proper information and the proper advice without somebody getting paid for something on the side. So anyway, that's what I do. I'm a fee-only financial planner. I love what I do. Been in this business for 25 years and hope to be in it for, I don't know about another 25, but for the rest of the career. And doing that, I've worked with a lot of prominent clients, prominent families, high net worth people, up to $100 million net worth. I've worked with NHL hockey players to set up their financial planning for the rest of their life. They make all their money up front, but we want to make sure that they have enough that they make that last for the rest of their life. So anyway, happy to talk to anybody about financial planning. There is no prerequisite of net worth to talk to me. The only criteria is that you want to improve your financial situation, and I'm happy to have a chat with you. So anyway, that's kind of my infomercial. That's what I do. Happy to do it. And yeah, there you go.
Excellent, thank you. I'm looking forward to the conversation to add a little different perspective. We spent a good chunk of the last couple months talking to business owners and leadership teams. But you're approaching the conversation from an employee base, and I'm kind of curious as to, I think I have a relatively good understanding of what business owners and leadership teams went through kind of navigating the pandemic and COVID. But as an employee, what was your experience and how did your employer handle it? What was the impact on you, and any insight you could give us as to kind of what you went through as an employee?
Yeah, for sure. It was an interesting time for all of us. And just to provide a little context, I do have my own business, which I talked about, but I've also worked as an employee, as a financial planner, hired by firms to do financial planning for their clients. So I kind of cross over both sides, employee and entrepreneur. But when COVID hit, I was an employee at that time. And I thought my employer handled it well. It's uncharted waters. I mean, nobody knew what to expect, what was going to happen. At our office, we had a straw poll as to when we were going to get back to work and back in the office to work. And people were saying as far away as July. And we just thought, oh my goodness, that's insane. There's no way we're going to be working from home for 3 or 4 months. Well, it was over 2 years. Anyway, back to the question of, I think they handled it well. I mean, there was number one was the health and safety of of employees and staff and clients as well. So we shut down the office. We went full Zoom remote video right away. We'd already been kind of set up that way, although we were still going to the office 5 days a week, but we had the technology in place to work remotely. So it was a relatively seamless transition, but I give the people I was working for at the time full kudos. I thought they handled it well. They looked after safety. They sent us home. They used the technology to help us continue to do our business, and we worked pretty seamlessly from home for a couple of years. So it was, COVID is obviously not a good thing, but from a corporate, standpoint of how they handled it, I thought they did as good as possible. And, like I said earlier, nobody really knew what to expect, how long this was going to be, what it looked like. This was new for everybody. And so, all that said, I just thought they did a great job.
What do you think the average, or what was the impact? What kind of impact did you witness from your coworkers? Because it's all impacted as different. There's some frustration, there's been some anger, there's been love working from home. No, I hate working from home. What did you see from the around the water cooler sort of conversations, what they experienced?
I think it was positive for the most part. Again, maybe we're a little different in the sense that our business lends itself to remote work. So that would kind of made it maybe a little easier. So most of my colleagues, they enjoyed working from home. However, I realize it's not for everybody. If somebody had small kids at home, that was that made working from home a challenge, or they ended up working, after 8 o'clock at night sort of thing. So I can certainly appreciate people who had small kids and families and things like that going on. No kids at my house, but my spouse and I, she's a real estate agent. We were both working from home, but we just managed to set up 2 offices, and away we went. But for the colleagues, for the most part, it was pretty no big deal, with the exception of a few with trying circumstances at home where it makes it hard to work.
Thank you. What is one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you started your career?
How to make $1 million in a day, but no, I'm still working on that one. Bad jokes aside, I don't know if it's something that I didn't know when I started my career, but I think the biggest thing that I've learned over my career, if I can kind of just shift your question a little bit, is patience. I just was at the beginning, I was, impatient. I was trying to force things and make things happen where it was maybe not the right timing or not the right clients or the right situation. And that ended up, causing some frustration. So I think over time, the biggest thing that I wish I mean, I'm aware of patience when I started the business, but I don't think I had any. Now I'm probably 180 degrees the other way. I just kind of go with the flow. If something happens, great. If it doesn't happen, that's okay too. I've learned that timing in life is one of the biggest things that we don't really, give a lot of thought to, but it is very significant in determining, what happens or doesn't happen at a particular time. So anyway, for the answer to the question, it's just patience. I used to get very frustrated when things didn't happen when I wanted them to happen, and now it's just it's a lot easier. It's easier on the stress level. I just go with the flow, and everything will work out. It's all good. Just keep working. Just keep working and plugging along in the same direction. Trying to advance towards where you want to go, your goals, and some things are going to work, some aren't, and some are going to work now, and others might work at a different time. So
that's pretty sage advice. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. What are the top 3 challenges that your industry faces the next 12 to 18, 24 months?
Good question. I mean, our industry is pretty, the financial services industry is pretty sophisticated and knowledgeable, but I don't know if I have 3 challenges. One of them is regulation. And I want to be really clear here and not come across the wrong way. Regulation is very important. It's been very important that we have regulations to protect clients, protect their investments, and protect them from doing something that maybe they should is not in their best interest. So I am 100%. I want to be crystal clear about that. 100% for regulation that protects clients. But regulation has also become, for better or for worse, an industry of its own. It's a growth industry, and they keep growing. They keep hiring more people, more lawyers. Nothing against lawyers; it's a good job, and those people have to somehow justify things. So we're seeing a regulatory environment, at least from my perspective, where we're coming up with rules that are not necessarily to help the clients, and in some cases actually hinder the clients. So we've got this over-regulation, trying to micromanage every little detail of the business. And I think it's really hurting the business. It's hurting people in the business. And most importantly, the business is about the consumer, the clients, the customers. And I think in some cases, not in all, but in some cases, some of these regulations are not in the favor of the clients. So long-winded answer to, just this regulation for regulation's sake is causing, in my view, some issues, and will continue to cause further issues going forward. But I'm also a proponent of I focus on what I can control, not what I can't control. I can't control that world, but anyway, that's one of the big issues for our industry. Trying to come up with something else to answer your three. I think for the most part, the remote work has worked quite well for our industry, so I don't really see that as a challenge. One of the things that I have, it may come up in another question here in a few minutes, but I think that that a lot of people have is a lot of clients are, for better or for worse, are skeptical about dealing with financial advisors, financial planners, insurance agents, investment advisors, whatever title you want to put on us. And in some cases that is well warranted, because the things haven't worked out very well for that client in the past. But is the challenge for us is to show clients our value. What is our value added? And people kind of come to us like we're at the beginning, well, maybe we're a snake oil salesman or something like that, and that's not the case. We are professionals. We are highly trained, highly experienced, and we do 99.9% of the people that I know in our industry are very ethical, honest, and try to do the best thing for their clients. But it's hard for us to sell that message when the consumer perception is negative right off the bat. Not only do we have to sell our message, but we have to overcome that negative perception that the consumer may have. But if people seek out the proper financial advisors, best way is to get a referral from a friend or something like that, and take it from there. I think we add a lot of value. We make a lot of money for a lot of people. Yes, we make money for ourselves, but we are in business. I don't think anybody has any problem with people earning an income for doing their job. That's what we all do, regardless of what our job is. And that's our job as well. But we do make a lot of money for our clients. And, I'm not saying that the clients should give us carte blanche, but we, in the right situation, working close with an advisor, meeting a couple of times a year, you can really do some really significant wealth building. When we talk about money is a very emotional issue for a lot of people as well. And people will make decisions based on emotions, and it's totally understandable. When the market goes up, we all want to buy this, and we want to buy Apple, and we want to buy whatever. And when the markets goes down, we want to sell and sell and sell. But logically, if we can remove ourselves from our emotions tell us to buy high and sell low. What we should be doing is the exact opposite, buying low and selling high. And that's where an investment advisor can come in to help coach you through that, and maybe take some of that emotional component out of that, because then you'll make more money. Unfortunately, if we let our emotions get in the way, we actually cost ourselves money. So that's where a neutral source of an investment advisor can certainly help and make a difference there.
I totally agree. It makes so much sense. What is the biggest challenge you've overcome in your career? How did you tackle it? How did you solve it? And what's the outcome?
Well, the outcome is I'm in front of you today. So, what is the challenge? The challenge is survival. I started in this business 26 years ago selling life insurance. And I don't know, I'm sure there's other things that are tough to do out there, but I started cold turkey in a new city, Calgary. I had just moved to Calgary to take on that position as a self-employed person to start in that business. And so I didn't have a lot of contacts, and it was tough slugging. So survival is the biggest thing for me. And how did I make that happen? Well, I just kind of did what I had to do at the time, and a lot of it, was good, and a lot of it was rather unpleasant. Not in terms of that, but just tough times. Getting through tough times and a ton of rejection. That's just part of the business, and you kind of need to get to do that. Get used to that when you're selling life insurance. But just persevere. There were a couple of times where I had to seek out employment just to get through tougher times in the self-employed insurance investment business. But I love the financial services industry, and I wanted to stay in it. So, if the business wasn't doing enough or doing good enough, I would, I'd get a job. I always worked on making sure that I had my industry credentials, and was always continually, and still to this day, continue to my ongoing education within the industry. So that helped me when I came to getting a job within the industry, and worked at that job for a few years or whatever. And then I went back to my business when it was different. So just kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is finding a way to, whatever it took. If the business wasn't there, then I got a job. And then when things got better, I could do my own thing again, sort of thing. And just kind of maybe not a straight, start here and end up here sort of thing, but a linear progression is what I'm trying to say. But lots of ups and downs along the way. Just doing what I had to do to survive and eke out a living within the industry. And here I am today. I'm sought out by a lot of people for my industry expertise, also as a speaker. Lots of people on LinkedIn are always coming to me every day to ask me, can I interview you, or can you talk to me about what you did, and things like that. So I'm still doing what I do. I absolutely love it now. So that's just how it's gone. I just found a way to stay in the business and make it work.
So persistence.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
A friend of mine and a person we interviewed probably a couple months ago, he said, I got a PhD in stubbornness and determination. I think there's a lot of credibility for that, to not let those opportunities derail, distract us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whether it been a pandemic, would have been different changes in economics and political forces, there's always opportunities for a step sideways, but there's always that opportunity to step forward as well into the light, as they say. As an
Yep.
employee, I'm curious as to your definition of what a successful business is. What should employers keep in mind in creating a work environment in today's world to attract and retain great talent?
Well, great question. Today's world, it's seen a little bit, probably, I'm speaking almost literally today, but it is seen of a bit of an employees market. There seems to be a lot of job opportunities out there, and maybe not enough people to fill them. So it's kind of to the advantage of the employees at the moment, but that always changes. But I think that we're entering a little bit. I'm not a HR person by any means, but I think we're entering a little bit of a different realm where, a large part of, in the past, employees, you were kind of hired, you do your job, you get a paycheck, and that was kind of how it worked. But nowadays, you have to really have the buy-in from your employees to make your business go. You can't just have staff there to punch a clock and get a paycheck. You got to have people that are committed Also, what do they call them? Entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs within your business, and they, they build their own little business within your business as an employee. They go above and beyond. They take responsibility for things that are, going on, and they see things through. If there's an issue, it's not just pass it off to somebody else's desk and then it's done, forgot about it. They follow up. They see that issue, whatever it is, right through to completion and satisfaction for the clients. So we're seeing a bit of a shift where I think, and I hope I'm right, where employees are more involved in, not just doing the business, but not making the business and running the business and making clients happy. I kind of go back to Richard Branson of the Virgin Airlines and things like that. He says his focus is keeping his employees happy, and then they'll keep his customers happy. And I really believe that. I think if you treat your employees well and fairly, I mean, you don't give them carte blanche to do whatever they want and work when they want and stuff like that. The work still has to get done. But if you treat them decently with respect and as a business partner, I think I see it more as a business partnership as opposed to a boss-employee relationship. You'll get a ton more out of them. They'll do way better for you. They'll be way happier, and happy employees we know don't exactly go, they don't move. They're there. Treat them well. If you're making money, then they're making money. Everybody's happy. It's like anything in life. You just treat people decently with respect, and they will reciprocate. And I think that's where we're at now. I hope that's where we're at now. And the companies will see coming out of COVID, the ones that are trying to get the employees to go back to the office 100%. And in some industries that has to happen. That's just the nature of their business. But if it doesn't have to happen and you're forcing employees that maybe prefer to work at least part-time at home, that's going to create some issues, and those employees may start looking for employment elsewhere. So it's really opportune. We're at a bit of a threshold in terms of how employers can handle employees going forward. And I think the ones that work with their employees are going to do way better.
Fascinating. Absolutely, for that insight. That's great. One last question for you. More of a legacy type question. What do you want to be known for?
Well, I'd like to be known as a Stanley Cup winning hockey player, but that ship has sailed. I just want to be known as a decent person who tried to help people. I know it sounds cliche, but I just like to help people. I want to be known as a friendly person. Every person that I touch, I want to try and make them feel good about themselves or feel better about their place in the world. Doesn't matter who you are. Not to open up any political conversations, but I saw a picture once of President Obama. He's walking down the hall in the White House, and there's a janitor there that's cleaning the floor, and the president reaches over and fist bumps the janitor. So that's just you've got right there almost the full spectrum of society in terms of status through work. And that I just love that. I just think everybody makes a contribution. It doesn't matter what you do. So my legacy, I guess, from a business standpoint, is just that, hey, Ken was a good guy. He tried to help me out. He did right by the clients. Decent person. Glad I knew him. And that's it.
Perfect. I think that's a fantastic way to end. You're more than gracious with your time. For people who'd like to learn more about an independent and unbiased financial plan, where would they get more information, Ken?
They can just contact me. Probably the easiest way is just through LinkedIn. I'm on there, Ken Doll, last name Doll. Yes, I get all the Barbie jokes, but anyway, that way people remember. Just send me a note on LinkedIn, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about financial planning and see if we can help you out.
Sounds great. Thanks again for your time. Greatly appreciated. And we will post this and share it with as many people as we can find and let them know the other side, both from the entrepreneur and the employee perspective. Thanks again.
Well, thanks, Kent. I really appreciate the opportunity. Great chatting with you today. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.